guys, welcome back to my channel, and today is my birthday. Well, when this video comes out, it's my birthday, so make sure you wish me a happy birthday, because you're supposed to do that for us Leos, because we're just so amazing and so awesome and so wonderful. So just make sure that you wish us a happy birthday this season, this Leo season. But so for this birthday video, I wanted to rank one of my first loves, and my first love is my obsession with zombies. And so why don't I do that by ranking zombie movies and TV shows? My first love was horror movies, but my favorite genre was zombie movies. I'm a very big zombie fanatic. And I think that we're going to experience, well, I hope not during my lifetime, but I do feel like we're going to experience zombies at some point in time within the human world. And so that's one of my conspiracy theories. That's one of my conspiracy theories, that is that we are going to experience zombies. So let's get into it. Okay, so I've put quite a few on this list, and I may not have gotten every single zombie movie that I've ever watched, but I tried to get as many as I can. I looked through a long list of zombie movies, and I tried my best to get all that I think that I have watched, or I have watched some of. So, bear with me, and put in the comments below if you feel like there's a zombie movie that I haven't seen that needs to be S tier or A tier and I need to watch it, or, just let me know what am I missing out on, and maybe I'll react to it. Okay, and so this is a zombie movie that I feel like people do not talk about enough. I feel like they do not talk about enough, and that is Cargo. Cargo is such a good movie, and I think why it's not talked about enough is because Train to Busan kind of overshadowed it. It has kind of the same ideals of a dad trying to protect their child, but I feel like Train to Busan might have brought it out in emotion, even though I personally think that the emotion was hidden in Cargo. I really love Cargo as a movie, and I'll try not to do spoilers. Please bear with me. I'll try not to spoil. But yeah, Cargo is basically, it's in the zombie world, and it's like deep into the zombie world. I don't know how long it's been since, civilization has, been crushed down. But basically it's a mom, dad, and a child, and it starts out like that. But then mom gets bit, and then she dies, and then dad gets bit because I think she bit him, but dad gets bit. And so basically, and don't quote me on that part, but basically he is trying to find somebody to take care of his infant child. So like, yeah, his baby is a real baby, and so he's just going on this long journey trying to find somebody to take care of his child before he turns. And so for me, I'll put Cargo in an A. The emotion was good, the storyline was good. With the way they brought the little girl in that kind of travels with him and then finds their people. I do kind of like the zombies in this, but the zombies weren't the biggest factor in this. The biggest factor was him trying to find somebody to raise his child, to take care of his child. And the zombies was kind of doing like a end of life thing. So the zombies just was not really important in this. So I can't put it in S tier because technically the zombies were not that important. But did I enjoy it as a whole zombie story? Yes. I that was so good to see it in like later stages. And I really appreciate when people do zombie movies or zombie shows where it's not just right then and there when it first start turning, because right then and there first start turning, it's going to be good, it's going to be juicy, but how do you prolong the story? Next, we're going to go into the Rec series. Now, let me tell you this. If you have seen Quarantine, and whether you liked it or hate it, you need to watch the Rec series, because they are so much better, in my opinion, to the Quarantine movies. So let me just do Quarantine real quick, because when I first watched Quarantine, I was like, oh, this is a crazy concept. Might even put it at like a C. But the thing is that, you know what? I'll put Quarantine at a C, knowing that the Rec series is so much better. The second one, that's an F. That's an F. I wasn't really feeling the second one on the plane, but I put this at a C because it's a remake and the original is so much better. And so, Rec, the first one, S tier. For sure, S tier. Now, Rec 2, personally, I'm going to put Rec 2 at a D because it's basically just, if I remember correctly, this is just me going off my brain. So if I'm getting anything wrong, my bad. My bad. I'm just simply going off my brain because what I want to do is I want to rank them just what's held in my brain, and then maybe go back and we could, maybe if you guys want to, we could go back and I can rewatch and I can re-tier this up. But yes, Rec 2, I put it at D because it's just basically them. Well, let me talk about Rec and Quarantine, because Rec and Quarantine is basically the same story. And basically, the zombie apocalypse starts to happen, but it starts to happen inside an apartment building. And they lock down the entire apartment building, and the people are trying to escape. There's the main character is a reporter, and the reporter is trying to do a report on the firehouse. And so the firehouse gets a call in, they come in and they're like, okay, let's see what's going on up in here. Next thing you know, the doors are locked, you can't get out. If you get out, we're gonna shoot you. Okay. And so literally, I think they did Quarantine exactly like the Rec series, but the Rec one was way more scary. It was way more intense. I was really feeling that one. Now, the Quarantine 2, they was on the plane. So that was different from in the Rec series. So I think they just kind of went off base with that one. But Quarantine 2 was basically them on a plane trying to escape. They're stuck in this and like the plane is not up in the air, it's like settled, like they're in a building. If I remember correctly. Don't quote me. But I remember I didn't like it. Rec 2 is basically them going in to see if there's like any stuff that they can get back. If there's any survivors. Well, the main team is looking for survivors, but the doctor that comes with them is looking for, because you kind of find out there's some research and stuff going on. There's something funky going on over here. So the guy that was with them is trying to find something else. But the other people are trying to look for survivors and stuff. And they end up finding old reporter chick who you thought, you don't know what happens to her in the end. And so Rec 2, I give a D because, it was kind of like we're back in the, building, and it just kind of like leads off from there. So I just don't think it's as good. Where is Rec 3? Now, a lot of people don't like Rec 3. I personally love Rec 3, and I feel like even though there was hints of what was going on, and you're looking at the peppers and stuff, but I think it really honed on the fact that this was a demon-led. This is a demon-led. Okay, I guess there's spoilers in here. I might have to put a spoiler thing because that's supposed to be like a little reveal or whatever. But it's kind of like demons-led zombies, and so it was basically there's a wedding happening, and people start to change and all that good stuff, and then like the bride is trying to survive, and I think the husband was trying to survive. I don't remember who survived, but I remember it was a wedding type deal, and the bride starts to go off, and then like one of the reveals of how it's like a demon like thing is that they had a church and the things could not enter the church. So for me, I would probably put this at C. It's probably a D, but because I enjoyed it, I'm gonna put it at a C. And then we have Rec 4, and I might have to put Rec 4 at C too. Actually, I might have to put that at D. Rec 4, they basically then took her on a ship, and it's kind of like experimenting on her and stuff, trying to figure out what's going on. And of course, she get loose. I barely even remember Rec 4. I might even have to put Rec 4 at F, but because I can't remember, I might even have to put it in the question mark series, because that's about the basis of what I remember of Rec 4. I'm gonna put Rec for a question mark. Question mark is for I. It was not important enough for me to remember. But did I thoroughly enjoy the Rec series as a whole? Yes, I did. I was constantly looking for it. And when I found where I found Rec at was on Crackle. Has anybody seen like the website Crackle? Crackle used to have some really good horror movies on it. I mean, top tier horror movies on it. I don't know if Crackles is still alive. Let's see if Crackle is alive. Just for the quick seas. Okay. Crackle is still alive. They have the Megalodon on here. They have the Beverly Hillbillies. There, there's some old Tommy shows that I just really, really love, and the Beverly Hillbillies was one of them. For sure. I wonder if they still do like, let's see what their horror section looks like. I'm gonna have to go through here and see if they have anything really good. I'm not seeing anything I've seen before. I ain't seen nothing I had seen before. But yeah, Crackle used to be my go-to for horror movies. It has such good horror movies. Okay, let's get back to this list. All right, now we have Zombieland. Zombieland is S tier. Zombieland is a horror comedy. It is basically a guy who's trying to find his people because he never felt like he was with anybody, even in like regular life. And so he's just kind of, trying to survive and find his people. But he has this list of rules that you have to follow in Zombieland. And the first one is what? The first one is cardio. And that's where you lost me. That's where you lost me. That's why I need to get my cardio up. Because if the zombie apocalypse started tomorrow, they definitely catch me on that cardio. I might be a fighter, but they definitely catch me on that cardio. So I would call Zombieland S tier. I think it's probably, for me, the best zombie comedy. I know there's a few of them, but I'm just that's my opinion. So he just finds his people, and they find Bill Murray, and it's just a good fun time. So yeah, that's definitely S tier for me. Zombieland Double Tap, that's a good old F. And I'm sorry. I was so excited to get a second Zombieland, but it wasn't up to par. The random Barbie chick, and we're trying to go find the girl who's just trying to live an adult life now because she done grew up. It's just, I get where you were going, and then like the couple was having issues. It just didn't. I feel like sometimes things don't deserve. I wouldn't say don't deserve. Let me take that back. Sometimes some things don't need a sequel. And Zombieland didn't need a sequel. It was good right there where it said. Sometimes we just need to leave stuff at number one and just leave it alone. And Zombieland was one of them. Ooh. 28 Days Later. 28 Days Later is S tier. 28 Days Later has some of the best zombies. Some of the best zombies. I loved the whole movie of 28 Days Later. I have watched 28 Days Later multiple times. That's how much I love it. The only thing that I don't love about 28 Days Later is the whole origin story where it was like, he's infected. He's infected. He's infected with what? Rage. Turn it off. But besides that, this movie is top tier, and I'm still gonna put an S tier, even though I did not like the origin story of the zombies. And I do like when zombie movies try to give us an origin story, but do it deliciously or just don't do it at all. We don't have to know the origin stories of the zombies. You just need to know how to survive. That's the point of the zombie world. So we don't always have to try to find a cure and all that good stuff. Oh, and then I got 28 Weeks Later. 28 Weeks Later, I would put at a solid B. A solid B. That first part, 28 Weeks Later, is basically, this is the one that's cure based. It's still people just trying to survive, but what you find out is that somebody is immune. And so we're trying to keep that, we're trying to get that immune person out of here because they could find the cure. But what ends up happening is that a place that's supposed to be a safe zone gets infected again just because of that. But at the beginning, they had me locked in at the beginning. When he left her, people tried to make him feel bad for leaving her. And he kind of felt bad and he didn't want to tell his kids and stuff. Let me tell you something. In the zombie world, you really have to worry about your people. You really have to worry about your people. And I understand this, at some point we need to be, saviors and save people. But when people are a lost cause, we just gotta let them go. We can't save everybody. And so I may be looking at the bad person, but literally these are zombies that they can't fight off. This is not Walking Dead zombies. Let me tell y'all. 28 days later zombies, you are literally running for your life every 5 seconds. You can't compete. And then you can also get infected by like animals, birds, all types of deals. You got a lot going against you in 28 days later zombie world. And so when she tried to save that little boy and he had a choice and he knew he had his own kids somewhere out there, oh, I would have left her too. And don't judge me. I would have left her too. Cause what? You got your own kids to worry about. You don't even know if your own kids are safe. And you trying to save this other kid. And you done got everybody else killed trying to save this other kid. And she looking like, the betrayal. But it's like, you do realize you just got literally everybody else in our group killed and you still trying to save this kid. I gotta go. Because I gotta get back to my children. But yeah, that's just me. But go watch it. It's oh, and then you have like zombie infected dad chasing him around. I don't know how I feel about that, but I feel like it's a solid B. Solid zombie story, but it's not been out 28 days later. Now, I have heard that they're coming out with 28 months later or 28 years later. And I think I saw something that they just wrapped up production. I am so excited. I am so excited. Once it come out, I'm going to try to watch it as soon as possible. Ooh. Warm Bodies. Warm Bodies. Warm Bodies is so good. Warm Bodies is just basically like a zombie love story. And I thought, when I heard about Warm Bodies, I thought, oh, this movie gonna be trash. This movie gonna be trash. But let me tell you something. Warm Bodies get a solid B for me. A solid B. Warm Bodies is good. And the way they set it up, to where like the love and the care basically brings them back human again. And I know that sounds so cheesy, but if you watch the movie, I'm telling you, it is a solid movie. I know hearing it come from my mouth, you're like, Nakia, that sounds cheesy. That sounds corny, which I like corny. But it was pretty good. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's all I got to say about that. Go watch it. I just told you basically what happens. Go watch it. Okay, and so now we got Little Monsters. And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't remember much from Little Monsters. The Little Monsters really got to be in the question category because I don't remember much from it. I know she's like a teacher, and I believe she's taking the kids on a field trip, and then the zombies show up, and then she's trying to like protect the kids and get them away from zombies, and it's supposed to be kind of silly. I think this might be a horror comedy, but I don't remember much from Little Monsters. But did I watch Little Monsters? Yes. But do I remember it? No. I'll put it in the question mark category. Army of the Dead. I'm gonna put Army of the Dead at a solid C. But I kind of want to put it at the D for a lot of the acting. A lot of the acting was over dramatized and dramatic, but I like the action scenes. I like the zombies in this one, and I kind of like how they could have like a little zombie baby. I thought that was pretty cool. I'm putting it at a C because I feel like it's supposed to be kind of dramatic and they're supposed to kind of play up the acting and stuff like that. But did I personally like it? No. But did I like the zombies? Yes. Did I like the actions? Yes. And it's basically these people going in, they put a crew together to go in and rob a bank in zombie Las Vegas. The zombies had made their own little territory. They just chilling. I also like that the zombies were kind of like they had a little bit of knowledge to them, and they weren't mindless zombies. Like they were like a whole little cult or whatever. And the king, you know, he had knowledge, and he had like a little wifey, and then they had like a zombie. I don't want to say tiger. I feel like it probably was a zombie tiger. And so they had all these things going on, and that was pretty cool. But basically, they were trying to rob a Las Vegas casino. And I also talk about the lady in there about I don't like how when people have all the time in the world before they die, they tell you they tell you who betrayed them, and then they don't tell you. Like while you jumping out of windows and stuff, and but that was my favorite sequence. Like she was really fighting it off, and I wish she would have lived because she was really going at it. She was cool, and so I was hate that she died. But tell somebody who betrayed you. That's all I got to say. So now we got Land of the Dead, and I had to look Land of the Dead up because I can't remember. They have so many of the deads that I have to look at the pictures to remind me which dead it is. You get what I'm saying? And so Land of the Dead was like basically there's a zombie trying to get his get back. He kept following somebody. He got tired of his zombie friends being killed, and so he's trying to get the humans first. And so I'm gonna have to put this at question mark because I don't remember it, but I did watch it. And so if we're talking about of the dead, then we have to talk about Dawn of the Dead. Okay, y'all, there is a dead I'm missing on this category, but I don't of the dead. I don't remember what it is. But Dawn of the Dead is basically zombies in the mall. We're trying to survive. We all came up in this mall, and so now we're trying to, survive, in this mall, and then we're trying to leave the mall. We're trying to find like a to-go plan to get where we need to be. Dawn of the Dead is a standard zombie movie through and through. They have pretty good zombies on there, but it's very regular. And so that gets a C. Then we have World War Z. The way I love World War Z, I really truly do love World War Z. World War Z is the type of zombie movie that I watch quite a bit. I feel like they did origin story right, zombie wise, for this movie. The whole, I try to find the origin story and realize I'm never going to be able to find it. And then understanding that there probably isn't a cure, but coming up with masking yourself by being diseased. Oh, I love the whole thing. But it's basically a guy who is known for, well, he was retired, of course, and he was known for going into countries and figuring stuff out. So he's very in tune with that, war-torn countries and figuring stuff out. And so it's basically his journey trying to keep his family safe while trying to figure out how to fight against, the zombies. And so I really love this movie, and I'm gonna put this. Did I put this S tier? I'm gonna put it at A. Very solid, and I really love it, but I don't feel like it may be S tier. Let me know. Resident Evil. I'm gonna put the first Resident Evil at S tier. The way that and I have not played the games. I should play the games. I may play the games. I'll put it on my list. When I get to it, I can't tell you. But the way I love the movies, and it may just because of the main character. She did that role so good. And I put Resident Evil the first one because that's just the solid one that brought it all together. Usually the first one that catapults the series is usually the best one out the series, and I feel that for Resident Evil 2. And so I have all the other Resident Evil movies out here, but basically she is a agent operative who is supposed to be protecting the stuff that they're doing in the lab, but of course somebody let the zombie virus go, and now they're all trapped down there because the computer thing has locked them down there, and now they're trying to get out before they're killed by zombies and the super zombies. Because the zombies keep mutating as we go. And then she also gained powers, all types of things. And then they kind of fighting against the evil corporation who won't, stop playing around with the zombie virus. There you go. That is like the synopsis of Resident Evil. You should check it out. Okay, so where's Resident Evil Apocalypse? Resident Evil Apocalypse A. I really like Resident Evil Apocalypse. Resident Evil Afterlife. I'm gonna put Resident Evil Afterlife as a B. And I might just go down like this because I feel like it just got. Oh, well, first of all, because Extinction is what I'm thinking of. Extinction is the next one. And so, but is this Afterlife? Where is Afterlife at? Okay, so then we got Resident Evil Apocalypse, Resident Evil Extinction. And so I was like, I might just go down this way because it's the way the movies went. It just got, although I love it as a whole, but as the good in it, it kind of just goes down. And it's rare there's a series that like maintains itself throughout the whole series, or it gets better without the series. Like Harry Potter maintains itself, but it also gets better because it's like going from childlike to like dark and stuff. So I feel like Harry Potter is a complete series, but it's really hard for like a series to do better. Lord of the Rings is good all the way through, and I personally would say even with The Hobbit attached to it. But that's controversial because I heard a lot of people didn't like The Hobbit. But there you go. So I think I'm just gonna go literally down I think this is Retribution. So Retribution, Afterlife, and I'm not even gonna hold you. Final Chapter I have to put in question marks because I don't even believe I watched Final Chapter. And if I did, I don't remember it. So I have to put the last Resident Evil in the question marks because I don't remember it. Alive is so good through and through. And it's basically the zombie apocalypse has happened, but there's two people who are still alive in an apartment building. I think there might be somebody else alive in there if I remember correctly. But there's two people alive in an apartment building trying to survive while they stay in their apartment. And then they go into this journey where they try to, get rescued. But they basically keep giving, help each other with human interaction so they don't go freaking nuts. And I loved everything about Alive through and through. So I'm going to put it at A. Oh, Solid Zombies, which any foreign films, because technically foreign to me, I feel like they do zombies really well. I feel like they do zombies better than us. That's just me. I just want to put that out there. Most of them are probably going to be up here because they just do them well. Not gonna hold you. They're just gonna do them well. Okay, I Am Legend. I really love I Am Legend. I Am Legend is just basically a guy who was in the military, family who passed away. He's trying to find a cure, and he is out there alone, losing his goddamn own mind because we are humans, and as humans, we crave intimacy, we crave interactions, we just crave social, and we will go nuts if we don't have it. And so this is what's happening to him. He's going nuts, but he had his little puppy with him, but he's trying to figure out a cure. And so I really liked it. I feel like it was really solid. I did not like the ending of I Am Legend, but I do like the alternate ending. I understand why. I'm always going to understand, but I don't have to like it. I didn't like the ending. I like the alternate ending. And so I Am Legend gets a solid A. Will Smith did his thing in I Am Legend. Okay, so Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse. That's another like zombie comedy. I don't remember much of Scout's Guide. I'm pretty sure I liked it, but I'm gonna put it in question mark because I only watched it once and I don't remember it. But basically, it's kids that are Cub Scouts and some other random individuals trying to fight against the zombie apocalypse. There you go. Okay, so I put Slither on here, and I understand, and Slither is basically something that came down to Earth and started inhabiting people. And then they're like kind of like impregnate other people to make more of these little slither things to impact others, and then they make them into zombies. So I put it on the zombie list, but I don't know if we can technically qualify it as a zombie. But because we have some zombie movies on here that are demon based zombies, I feel like we could put Slither in here even though it's alien based zombies. Feel like I need to take it off the list. I don't know, but I'm gonna put it up here, and I'm gonna put Slither at S tier. And it's like a little small town. There's some hilarious jokes in here. It's both disgusting but also funny. And the way I love Slither is S tier. Slither is a really good movie, and you should watch it. But don't watch it while you eat, because it's kind of disgusting. Okay, so while I was looking through lists on Google, they put Cabin Fever in here. Do we qualify Cabin Fever as a zombie movie? Because I feel like it's just them basically, if I remember correctly, Cabin Fever is just basically flesh-eating virus disease. Was they starting to infect each other, or did they just get infected? I don't know, but Cabin Fever is disgusting. Every single last one of them Cabin Fever movies is disgusting. I'm going to put in the question mark category because I'm like, I don't know if we count this as a zombie movie, but did somebody put it on a zombie movie list? Yes. And have I watched Cabin Fever? Yes. Is Cabin Fever disgusting? Yes. But I'm going to put in the caption. Now, Cabin in the Woods is kind of like an honorable mention. Cabin in the Woods is not a zombie movie, but does it have zombies in it? Yes, it has like the zombie family that's chasing them. I really like Cabin in the Woods. I don't like the ending to Cabin in the Woods. I don't like any type of horror movie. Doesn't give me hope at the end unless it's just really like a bad A ending. And so, but I like the campy feel of Cabin in the Woods, and breaking all the walls, and that's I really enjoy Cabin in the Woods. I don't know how people feel about Cabin in the Woods, but I enjoyed it. But I'm putting it on here just because they have some zombies in there, but zombies is not the main part of the story. I'm just letting you know, zombies not the main part of the story. But I just like the aspect of it, so I put it on here. Now they're talking about Evil Dead. And I put Evil Dead on here because they're classifying Evil Dead as a zombie movie. But again, Evil Dead is one of those things of like demons and spirits inhabiting people, and that's how they're getting infected and things of that nature. And so because the way I love down the Rex series, and the Rex series is a demon-based zombie, I have to put Evil Dead on here because technically Evil Dead is a demon-based zombie. So I have Evil Dead on here, and I have watched a couple of the Evil Dead movies. I have watched some of the show. I'm going to put Evil Dead as a solid C, and I put literally all the Evil Deads that's in here onto the same script. I put it up there. What I will do is put Evil Dead the remake up here at a B because it was gruesome. It was disgusting. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. My thing is, for me, is that it's really hard for me to get in tune with older movies, even though for their time, it was excellent. It was great. It was amazing for their time. For me, as a little children, watching it in my day, it's hard for me to connect so hard when it becomes to like movies with like special effects and things of that nature. Because I'm not up to date on it. That's why you probably don't see as much as really, really old zombie movies on my list, because I remember watching this old zombie movie, black and white type, and the zombie was moving, and my brain cannot compute because I need the fast, freaky ones that's gonna scare the heck out of me in order for me to love the movie. But as a series, Evil Dead is really good, and so I put it as a C because some of them are like the one where he goes to like hell or something, and then the TV show was kind of like, it literally felt like no time had passed because the TV show was kind of just like the older movie. Ghost of Mars. Ghost of Mars, I'm putting this at an A. Ghost of Mars is so good. Shout out to Ice Cube because he played his role in this movie. Ghost of Mars is basically like a spirit-based zombies, and so they're basically like are some people trying to transport a prisoner that they had been looking for, but they come across these some ghost zombies. So like the ghost inhabits people and literally they change them, they change their bodies and stuff. And they take over their body and then they start crashing out. They start killing people and all types of stuff. And so and it's on Mars because I guess it's like some type of ghost tribe there that inhabits people and keeps things going. I don't know, but did I like it? Yes, I really like Ghost of Mars. Ghost of Mars is something that I would watch multiple times. I haven't seen it in a while, but I know I probably, or I used to, I have it on my in my movie case, because I really like that movie. Okay, Zom 100. Zom 100 gets a solid B for me. And this is the anime. I have not watched the live action one on Netflix, but Zom 100 is basically like a guy who hates his job. And we can all relate to hating your job. It's like, I can really relate to this because it's like, I know I don't hate my job. Let's be clear right there. But like the monotonous, like trying to go to work every day just to make sure that you survive, and then the zombie world just resets everything and you just really just focus on survival. You're not focused on all the different societal aspects that we have pushed into the world, and we go back to basic survival. It kind of feels like a little even though you don't want to see people die, you don't want to fight zombies, but just release from societal pressures sounds nice. And so I can relate to him in this. And this guy is basically, he hates his societal pressures, that he hates his job. And then next thing you know, the zombie world comes along. He's like, oh, that's freaking great. And then he just started living his best life because he's like, now I can just literally do anything. I can literally be anything that I want. Instead of just doing what I have to do, I can literally just do what I want to do. But message, you can do that right now. You can do both. You can work your job with all that other time that you have. Make sure you save like 30 minutes to an hour to do something that you love. Make intentional time. And that's why I'm making this YouTube video. Because zombie movies are what I love. Zombie shows are what I love. And so I'm taking some intentional time today to do that outside of work. So there you go. And I put it at B because I really like this. I really like where it was going. And then they just dropped the ball. I was so excited to get another zombie anime. And then they just dropped the ball. And so I put it at B. But me personally, I loved it through and through, every single episode. And I wish that it could turn into something more. But it looks like we're just not going to get it. So there's that. Okay, and so the next movie is The Crazies. The Crazies, I'm putting it at A because I don't remember it all the way through. But The Crazies was a freaky movie. And so The Crazy is basically in this small town where people get infected and they start just offing themselves. And they even try to take some people with them. And it's like the movie said, The Crazies. And then people are just trying to get out of the small town before they basically bomb it. I think they're going to bomb it. But it's been a long time since I watched The Crazies, to the point where I don't remember details of the movie, but I remember the gist of it. And I remember I really love this movie. This movie was freaky. I mean, they literally just had a game and people started acting a dang fool. It was okay. I was like, oh. So I really like The Crazy. Okay, and here goes a show, The Last of Us. The Last of Us is S tier through and through. I really love The Last of Us. I like, the way they went about The Last of Us. And I know it's not true to the game. I'm going to play the game. Right now, I'm playing through the Walking Dead series. Go check it out. I'm on season 2. I'm almost done with season 2. I think I got like 2 episodes left. But go watch it. But is The Last of Us on my list of things to play? Yes. Have I watched the show? Yes. Did I love the show? Yes. And basically, it's about this girl who is immune in the zombie world, and she has to team up with this guy who is going through grief of his own daughter that he lost a long time ago. And he basically just trying to transport her um to the people who want to kind of like test on her because she's immune, and they want to make sure they want to create a cure. um but yeah, I really like the way they did the episode with the gay couple. That was emotional. But yes, I like this through and through, and I'm giving S tier. The zombies here are crazy. I feel like it was a whole nother take on zombies that I haven't seen since like Resident Evil. When you get into zombies that can like mutate and turn into something else, I'm all here for it. And I love the fact that they're kind of like grass type of zombies. I'm talking about like they Pokemon, but they're kind of like grass type of zombies where I like how their little moss and greenery is on the floor, and if you touch it, then every zombie in that freaking vicinity know that you there, and they coming for you. That's crazy. I love the zombies in The Last of Us. I think that's a really good take um, on them. And we have The Walking Dead. Y'all gonna hate me, but I have to put The Walking Dead in the question mark because I have not finished the Walking Dead series. I have not finished it. I feel like where I left off, I know I got to the governor, right? And I know I got to when that blonde chick had died and they just basically just killed her off and they didn't really show her death. I know I got there, the prison, but the prison is kind of before the governor, I believe. Somewhere in there is where I left off. I couldn't even tell you exactly where I left off, but I'm pretty sure I stopped watching The Walking Dead because it became who dies at the end of the series. And I don't like when shows get like that because then I feel like we lose how we can develop the plot if it's just like, okay, so who dies next? And so I have to put in a question mark because I didn't finish it. And so I don't feel like I can fairly rate it unless I rate through the seasons that I've watched. But it started off strong, and I really like the change in the villains and things of that nature, the different things that they have to go through. But when it became who in the main group is going to die next, I was like, okay. So the storyline don't even really matter at this point. It's just about who's going to die next. And so I kind of clocked out after that. And so that's where I'm like The Walking Dead. And the zombies, I told you, if they not getting real freaky and fast and scaring the living daylights out of you, I'm not locked in as much in the scary part of the zombies. I feel like The Walking Dead is more about the scariness of humans than it is about the zombies. I know there's something that's supposed to happen later when it feels like the zombies are communicating with each other and stuff like that. I didn't get to that part, but I do feel like The Walking Dead is more about the scariness of humans than it is about the zombies, which I do like that aspect of it because there's a lot of people out here that if you take away societal rules and societal pressures, you're gonna see the real them. A lot of people are just acting right because society will lock them up and they don't want to be locked up, and so they play by the rules because that's what society wants them to do, but it doesn't mean that they morally feel that way. And so if you take that away from them, you're gonna see the real them. I'm just putting it out there. Z Nation, y'all, the way I love Z Nation is like a comedy type of zombie in a TV show. And I don't see a lot of people talking about Z Nation. But the way I love Z Nation, matter of fact, I feel like I want to rewatch Z Nation. That's how much I love Z Nation. It was so stupid yet great. I'm gonna leave it there. But basically, it's a zombie world. There's an immune zombie in here. And it's a whole thing. And it's just very silly. That's the best way I can put it. There's no expectations. I feel like you wouldn't even do expectations for plot, but that's just how I remember it. You go against me in the comments. Remember that. I love to see it. I love to see the go against me in the comments. Okay, and so then we have honorable mention of Maze Runner. Maze Runner, there's zombies in it, but it's still like not the main story, at least for the first couple movies. And so it's basically like they're experimenting on these kids to, find a cure to the zombie virus. Um, but from what I remember, it was more about the action and stuff. But the zombies, were they scary and crazy? Yes. But it's more about the action and stuff. I just like the Maze Runner, the movie altogether. So I put Maze Runner, this series. I just put the series together at an A because it's kind of like a ongoing story. And then we have All of Us Are Dead. All of Us Are Dead. The way I love All of Us Are Dead. All of Us Are Dead. Like, if you have not watched this zombie show, which should still be on Netflix, hopefully. Netflix like to switch it up in and out. All of Us Are Dead is that show. I love that show bad. And I need a season 2. And didn't need a season 2. But does it need a season 2? Yes. And it left so much open because it started out with just like regular zombies and starting up at a high school, and the high school kids are trying to survive, right? Top tier. And then you have some betrayals and stuff like that. And then you got some people who are about to mutate and have like zombie powers. And it looks like it was going to start into another story. Like they did a good little end off where it's like, I want to see what's next. But that's like the premise of it, of like, you got the zombies going crazy, very good zombies. And then I'll say that like Korean movies, top tier zombies all the time. I have to put that out there. But this is a show. But so Korean movies and shows, I keep forgetting I'm rating both, but Korean movies and shows do top tier zombies. And so you have the zombies, you have the relationships between the high school students, and you have possibly, zombie powers. And where would that lead us? I don't know, but I have to put that S tier because the way that show left off, the way I was locked into that show and I watched it back to back to back, like, yeah, that show is S tier. Then we have Black Summer. I have literally only watched like 1 or 2 episodes of Black Summer. Don't remember Black Summer. Let me know if I need to spend a block on that, and maybe it's good, but I know it's zombie based and I watched like 2 episodes. I'm sorry if Black Summer is your show. But I feel like I might have gotten bored within those 2 episodes. I can't remember. But yeah, if it's something I need to lock back into, let me know. Sweet Home, they put Sweet Home on the list, but I'm gonna put Sweet Home right here because is Sweet Home zombie based? I'm going to react to Sweet Home because I remember loving Sweet Home. I only watched like a few episodes and I never locked back in, but I remember I still enjoyed it. Just so y'all know, just because I don't finish something doesn't mean I didn't like it. Sometimes I just get sidetracked. Okay. And Sweet Home was one of those things that I was liking, but I just got sidetracked. But I feel like Sweet Home was more monster based than zombie based. But correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But I put on tier list because Google says it's a zombie movie, and I have watched some of it. I need to log back in because it must be deliciously still good because I think it's just got like a season 3. So maybe I need to log back into Sweet Home. But I already plan on watching it. When I'm gonna watch it, I couldn't tell you. I have a list of things I'm trying to do on this channel. But yeah. Then we have Daybreak. Daybreak is basically kind of like Zom 100 and Zombieland and stuff like that. It's kind of like a comedy-based zombie movie. Or you can say even action-based. It's quite silly. I probably put it at a D. It's just kind of just something you just watch for the funsies, really. And then we have Freakish. I remember watching Freakish a long time ago. Do I remember Freakish? I do not remember Freakish. I don't remember Freakish. Anybody who's watched Freakish and have it fresh on their mind, was it good or not? Because I can't remember nothing from Freakish, but I know I watched Freakish. Usually when something is zombie based, I usually try to give it a try just because I love zombie stuff. But because of that, my history is not, as extensive. High School of the Dead. Now, High School of the Dead, Okay, so I grew up with two older brothers. That's who I grew up in the house with, as far as my siblings. And of course, I've watched Dragon Ball. Of course, I watched Yu-Gi-Oh. Of course, I watched Pokemon. Of course, I watched all those things, right? Um, but that's been like by association because I was just a little children. I didn't even know what like anime was yet, and cartoons, things of that nature. And I just kind of watched what was around me before I decided to, choose what I like. Now, High School of the Dead is the first show I watched that was something that I chose because I was starting to get into the zombie realm and I like zombies. And I was like, oh, a zombie anime. So that's kind of like my first anime of my choice. But had I already watched Dragon Ball by then? Yes, I had watched Dragon Ball and probably most of Dragon Ball Z, if not all of it. And so this is kind of like, this might be an honorable mention because I don't really remember High School of the Dead. And now as a grown adult, I feel like High School of the Dead might have had a lot of fan service in it. Me as a little children, I'm not realizing or knowing what fan service even is. I'm not even knowing what fan service even is as a little children watching High School of the Dead. But I remember loving High School of the Dead. But I plan on doing a rewatch of this, but I may hate it. That's the scary part. So I put it as a C because I remember just for the nostalgia, I liked it. But by the time I rewatch it, it may be an F because of fan service. I don't like fan service. I don't like the way they do fan service for women. Well, through the eyes of men for women, it's kind of just like a girl tripping and her titties fall out. Like, that is what fan service looks like on that end. Like, Fire Force is such a good show with such a good story, but it kind of gets ruined by the fan service of the girl tripping all the time and falling out her clothes. Same way I really love Fairy Tale on down, but the way they keep getting Lucy clothes to fall off, I hate it. I hate it. It really just, but the way that fan service is done for women, for the eyes of women watching anime, oh, so delicious. You remember Nanami? They do it so delicious. But now I'm getting off track. Let me go back to my list. Kabenari of the Iron Fortress. That's another anime zombie. I watched a couple episodes of it, but they were getting active in that show. They were getting active. I have to watch that to give it like a real true rating. But from what I remember from the couple episodes that I watched, it's just action based, fighting it up. It's all I remember of Kabenari of the Iron Fortress. I didn't finish it, but that's what I remember. Shaun of the Dead is S tier. Let's be real. Shaun of the Dead is S tier. And now I said Zombieland is my favorite, but Shaun of the Dead is done so well. I'm gonna stick with Zombieland being my favorite zombie comedy. But Shaun of the Dead, we know it's all in our hearts. And so I would keep Shaun of the Dead at S tier. I think it was done really well, really perfectly. I feel like there was literally nothing you could do to make it any better. Just my opinion. Train to Busan is S tier. Train to Busan is S tier. And I might have put Cargo at S tier if it wasn't basically the same base as Train to Busan, and Train to Busan just beat it out with the emotional impact of it. And so, well, Shaun of the Dead is basically he's trying to save his girlfriend, his family, and they're just going around, and it's just a lot of jokes and fun. I didn't feel like I had to explain Shaun of the Dead, but I probably should take some time to explain Shaun of the Dead. Kabenari of the Owner's Fortress is basically zombie war. There we go. I'll make sure I explain all of them. But don't expect the best explanation. There you go. Train to Busan is basically we get on a train and the zombie starts zombieing. And basically he's trying to save his daughter. And other people everybody else on the train trying to survive. But are the zombies the real villain? Or is there one person on there that is the true villain? More of a villain than even the zombies. Just gonna put that out there. But yeah, very emotional, very tear-jerking every time I watch it, because this is something that I watch multiple times. If I feel like I can watch something multiple times, they're getting S or A tier all the time. And so Train to Busan is definitely one of those, and it's gonna make me cry every single time. every single time. Oh, this is not talked about enough. This is the last movie that we're going to rate. The Girl with All the Gifts. People do not talk about The Girl with All the Gifts enough. I don't hear nobody ever talking about this movie, but this is a movie. Is that movie. And the ending, where they try to make the ending look all hopeful, I feel like the ending was the scariest part. But I'm not going to tell you what the ending is, but I feel like the ending was the scariest part. But basically, it's another zombie world, but you have these zombie hybrid children that they're keeping locked up, and I guess testing on them and stuff. I don't know what they're doing to these zombie children. I think they testing on them. I think they slowly kill them off sometimes, but they're basically testing on them. But they're zombie children. Like, they look, when you look at them, they look human. But as soon as some blood gets spilled, they get hungry. They start to getting to biting at you and stuff. Like, they are pushing them around in wheelchairs with the mask holding up to them and stuff. And there's one girl, she's like really, really smart. And there's also like some other zombie children out there, but there's some zombie children that are locked up that's never seen each other before. So like they're teaching the kids, they taking them through school and stuff. But I'm thinking the hope is to find like a cure or something is what they're trying to do. I don't think I even got that deep to figure out what they were trying to do, but it's just following them, like this little girl, and just, you know, some zombie craziness happening on the outside, and it's like something in the air, something that gets displayed into the air, it turns them into zombies. So they have to walk around with masks and stuff, and it's just crazy. And the ending was the scariest part to me. That's all I have to say. Even though it wasn't all gory and stuff, I feel like the ending was the scariest part to me. That is a solid scary movie, and that's an A for me. I'll probably never watch that movie. I might watch that movie again, but yeah, the ending just kind of freaked me out, made me kind of sad. It's just like I would never want to be in that place, in that route. But people need to watch more of The Girl with All the Gifts. Girl with All the Gifts is such a good movie. Whew. Okay, so I have ranked what I think is all the zombie movies and shows that I have ever watched. Put in the comments below if there's something missing from this list that I need to watch. Put in the comments below, you know, what movies you feel like I should rewatch. Who do you think needs to be re-listed on this, you know, the tier? You think I put somebody too high? Let me know and say rewatch that, because I think they should go lower. Or you feel like they too low and you be like, girl, rewatch that, you need to put them higher. But definitely, if you want me to react to some other zombie movies or shows and put them up on the list, let me know what those shows are. Let me know what those movies are. But yeah, thank you, you know, for watching this video for my birthday. And make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.